Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Saving Face. My name is Justin McGregor. I'll be your host and DM for the evening. Going around the table, we have...
My name is Liz, and I will be playing Aoife Inkblood, your resident warlock for the evening.
And I'm Abe, and I will be playing Marge, your Warforged Barbarian.
And I am Kayla. I will be playing your half-elf paladin, Diana.
I'm Meg. I will be playing our human huntress, Marcella.
Hi everyone, it's Nikki, and I'll be playing Nia, your human bard.
Oh, I love it.
God, even
Every
on...
time.
I love the consistency with your intro.
Even on
Just
audio,
kills
it
me.
just...
The audience can just see the sunglasses
Right,
being
exactly
removed.
right. And so, at the top of the show, not going to ask for a recap. And I do want to have one little plug, though. This evening's episode will be based around a soon-to-be-released module by our very own +1 Pen of Smiting, at Pen of Smiting on all the socials. And the name of it is Tooth or Truth. I will give you the rules in character as we go. But look forward to that release soon. We will be plugging it on all of our socials in an upcoming stream and, of course, on the Crafty Discord. So, to set our scene, our party has come home to Aoife's house. They've decided to take an extra day to rest now that they have what amounts to 11 days to get Petrus home. Petrus, for his part, has spent most of the day sitting in the corner with Lucy, who has explained to him, as best she can, what's happened, including what happened to Asa. And late in the evening, he finally gets up out of the corner, tells Lucy to stay. He walks over toward the table in the middle of the room. He's wearing, quite frankly, ridiculous clothes. He is the typical overdressed noble. And in the style of Festiflautant, he has poofy sleeves and stiff epithets. These ridiculously baggy, bright-colored pants. Huge pockets. Out of one of those pockets, he pulls a bottle of whiskey. And anyone who cares to look knows the label at once. This is a dwarven distillery that is known for the finest spirits in all of Etta. This bottle costs a ridiculous amount of gold. And he sets it on the table. He then reaches in his pocket and pulls out a second bottle with no label and 4 X's etched in the glass, which he also plunks in the middle of the table. Moonshine. And then he sits and pours himself a glass, which he also pulled from his pocket, of the ridiculously expensive whiskey. Dare I ask, where are the rest of you this evening?
Nia is probably drinking her own glass of wine, sitting at the table, watching all of this happening with her eyebrows raising more and more into her hairline. And she's like, it's not healthy to drink alone. Do you want company?
Yes. Yes, I very much do.
Marcella is sitting on the stoop of Aoife's little hut with Bix, having a conversation, a very heavily one-sided conversation with her massive forest cat about, like, you just hear bits and pieces of it, just like, I mean, how bad could it be? I mean, it's quiet out here. Maybe we should think about moving to the swamp. Oh, don't give me that. We'll get you little boots.
Glorious.
And Puss in Boots was born.
I love it.
Ah.
All I can imagine is like when you get dogs in snow boots, and they just
You have the big flat-footed can't quite figure how feet work all of a sudden. Yeah, that tracks.
yeah, where they pick up their
Yeah.
feet and they like floppy foot around, but also like kick their feet trying to get them off. But yeah, that's she's having a conversation with a very annoyed Bixley about moving to the swamp because it's quiet and people leave you alone.
Aoife would have been probably sitting on the stool next to the workbench, working on a new set of wind chimes, something quiet. But as she sees what Petrus is doing, probably would take the opportunity to throw back the rug in the middle of the room and descend into the crawl space and come back with another jug of ale. Not moonshine. We're not cool enough for swamp shine yet. We'll get there, but probably some really nice ale. So.
Tangent, Nikki, that's rude.
I'm trying so hard not to
Kids ready
interrupt.
to lose the soup. Marge would probably be sitting by the fire, once again, carving on a piece of firewood. And you can see it's taking the rough shape of a raccoon.
Diana is up in the loft, kind of by herself, just hanging out. She is currently writing a letter.
Very good.
Well, I think this sounds like a good cause for a chat. A good time.
Yeah.
A good time for that.
Yeah. I could use that. Could use that in the worst way.
Diana leans over the railing from the loft and did somebody say they wanted to chat? Did I hear Aoife go down into the basement?
Oh, I've got the jug.
Oh, you've got the jug. Okay.
The good
I
stuff,
just-
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Swing down on the ladder. Join them.
Did I hear someone say the
Oh,
good
yes.
stuff?
I suppose it depends on what you like, though. I've got ale. There's
Tell you
some
what.
wine.
If you join us, I'll share this. And he holds up the bottle that you sure as hell know because there's probably 4 or 5 of them in your family's collection. It's on that level of, oh my shit, good.
Nia drains the rest of her wine, the dregs and all, cleans the glass, and says, "Pour me a shot.
Hit me.
Hit me.
Well, color me interested.
What color? Do you want to be green like Manticore over here?"
Oh,
So for anyone who's interested,
Could you make me a lovely ecru?
Certainly.
tell you what though.
I was like, what's a darker shade of white?
Tell you what. I'll happily share. But one way or another, it looks like we're going to be traveling for a while. And honestly, I'd like to get to know you all better. And if you're interested, give you the same chance to get to know me.
Careful what you wish for, Petrus.
I know. Believe me. And
What an attitude shift.
you seem like a tight-knit group, and from what I've seen, who knows? You might even learn a little more about each other, too. What say we drink this, he holds the bottle up again, over around of tooth truth. And he just
I'm afraid I've never played that before.
smile starts to just spread over his face. He goes, no, I guess you wouldn't. It's a drinking game. We play it with new students at Five Spires when they get accepted. Honestly, I think Bass made it up, which is very much like him. You have a small glass of something strong, and from those pockets he pulls out a shot glass, sets it in the middle of the table, and, well, Baz always had a tooth. He claimed it was a dragon's tooth, but who knows, maybe it was. And again, he pulls out a tooth. I have my own. And he drops it in the glass. Anyway, you drop the tooth in the cup at the center of the table, which he does. And we'll ask each other questions. The one who tells a lie or balks has to drink, but you don't want to drink the tooth. Then you fill her up, keep going. The game ends when somebody passes out, throws up, or drinks the tooth. Which, let's be real, probably was going to require a cleric. Sound like a winner?
Well,
If you can settle for a paladin, you're good to go.
I was going to say, luckily.
No one's settling for you, dear.
Oh.
I found Bix.
Vix is like, I'm sorry, what?
I really hope that came off as...
Destruction?
I realize maybe that sounded more harsh than I meant it, but that, it could go either way. Either she's flirting, or that was supposed to be a slight against Diana.
And Bix
No,
from the
with
corner
knowing
goes-
Nia at this point, it's probably both.
And Bix from the corner goes,
Did someone call my name?
No!
I love my creepy cat so much.
No, we did not.
Okay.
Excuse me. Well, I think this sounds interesting, if nothing else. So, Aoife
Okay.
sits at the table.
so,
And pull up a chair. Join her.
rules. This is an honor system. You ask a question, you get an answer. You, and only you, know if you're telling the truth. If you lie, you drink. If you hesitate, you drink. If you try to skip a question, you drink. If you speak out of turn, you drink. If for any reason I decide you drink, you drink.
Oh,
Yeah, you get the idea.
Mm.
But you don't have to explain the lie, but the drink is your penalty. So considering the actual or implied risk of the tooth, it's simply best to tell the truth and not think about it too hard.
Or drink and not think about it too hard.
But oh yes, you understand the game very well. So whoever asks the question is allowed to ask one follow-up, which you are not at all obliged to answer. If anyone else asks a follow-up, you guessed it, they drink. So, shall we do this?
I'm down.
I mean, why not? Marcella takes her chair and turns it around and pulls a bracken maneuver.
I like it.
I just imagine that's how she would do
I
He
things.
love it.
goes around topping off everyone from his personal stash, and then pours from the bottle with the 4 etched X's into the shot glass.
Ah, now we know he's really not fucking around.
Ooh.
Okay.
Nia,
Question.
Nia, darling, you are in for a treat. You will love this.
Excellent.
Does he pour Marge a glass?
He doesn't know not to, so yes.
Please do join us, Marge.
I don't think I'm drunk enough to ask the question that I want to ask, so...
Marge looks at the glass for a minute.
I'll play, but I don't drink.
Petrus goes, Oh, that's okay. After what I've just found out, I can drink yours. And he just reaches over and slides the drink toward him.
This poor kid.
I feel so bad for him.
Yes,
Trauma
this
drinking.
is this is
Sorry.
absolutely trauma drinking.
Yeah, Marge would reach over and pat him on the shoulder.
Mood.
thump, 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 thump. Yeah,
Marge can be gentle when Marge wants to be.
I
I
know.
do know this.
Him is best, Sir Special.
He loves him so much.
Okay, so we start with the easy ones. He fixes Marcelo with a stare. What is your name?
My name, for all intents and purposes, is Lady Marcella Alexandria Meladandri of the Baden Meladandries.
And now you get to ask the same question of someone else until everyone has answered. I will answer last.
Marshmallow. What is your name?
Well, it's certainly not marshmallow, but thanks. My name is, legally, Lady Diana Jade Farandel. Aoife, what's yours?
Aoife Inkblood. Marge, what's your name?
I'm Aegis Unit 9091, destination MARGE. Nia.
Yes, dear.
What is your name?
Thank you. Nia Durant is my name. Petrus, what's your name?
On the dotted line, I am Petrus Albano Fengrir III.
Of course.
Yes, 2 other people were cursed with the middle name Albano.
That's not so bad.
I wasn't going to say it.
I'll
We
be
were all thinking it.
Could be albino.
Look, darling, I've heard worse.
And to be clear, every time someone else answers, he's drinking from the cup that isn't in the middle of the table. He's going to be gone pretty soon.
Whoops.
And
And
So, Aoife, what, ma'am, is your nickname?
Well, it's not ma'am. Don't think I've ever been ma'am in my whole life.
unfortunately, I was born
Until
Her initials are MAM.
oh, jeez.
I was wondering who was going to catch that. I'm so sorry. I was just like, no one caught that. Okay. Let me just explain the joke. Sorry.
Until recently, I didn't have one. But Nia has graced me with the nickname Alfie, and I love it.
I'm so glad you enjoyed it.
now that we're friends,
Now that we're friends.
I'd like to make you. I'd like to make you my new project.
Now, dear, your hair. I know you've already done this, but just trust me. Toss.
Thank you, Nia.
Marcella, do you have a nickname?
I do.
What is it?
I actually have 2. Growing up, my father used to call me Dewdrop. And my other nickname is Marcy. However, if you call me that, you will find my blade at your throat. There is one person in the world allowed to call me that.
I like a challenge.
And even I don't like him calling me that.
Yes, ma'am.
Marge, what about you?
Marge.
He kind of looks at you like, it's what y'all been calling me the whole time.
Diana, do you have a nickname?
Well, I didn't. Everyone did just call me, Diana. Until a certain bard decided that I looked like a marshmallow instead.
Well, really, you look more like a dye to me,
It's
but
fine.
marshmallow just stuck.
As they tend to do.
Marshmallow isn't my first choice, but if it keeps Nia happy and content, I'll go for it. Speaking of, Nia, do you
Well.
have any?
My mentor used to call me her song, and if stage names count as nicknames, where I perform, they call me Emerald. Petrus, do you have any nicknames?
I guess it's fair to say I did. Asa called me Dish.
Well, I'll drink to that.
I'm gonna
Marcella
follow.
picks up the shot glass. Why Dish? Just
We met in our first semester chemistry lab. And it started out actually as Petri, as in the play on my name, but also the Petri dish that you grow samples in. And it wasn't long after a game like this one that we started dating. And he decided he picked the wrong part of Petri dish to call me. And so I became his dish.
Oh.
that is horrendously adorable. And she downs the the shot.
I say he picks up the 4X jug and just refills it when you set it down. Yes, well, it'd be a lot more adorable if it turned out that he was a real person.
Unfortunately, Petrus, I understand the ache of heartache all too well. It will pass.
Lady Diana, what is your favorite color?
Well, it used to be light blue. The color of the sky right before the sun kind of really hits it. Just at morning break. But, here recently, there's been a different color added. Rather rich purple. It's, complements the light blue relatively well. You have dawn, and you have twilight. Marge, what's your favorite color?
Indeed.
Brown.
Does he see in full color?
Marcella, what is your favorite color?
Well, it might come as a surprise to most of you. My favorite color is yellow. Aoife, your favorite color?
Gray. It reminds me of afternoons when it's raining here in the swamp. It's my favorite. Nia, what is your favorite color?
I thoroughly enjoy the color gold and pink.
Why does that not surprise me?
Nia takes a drink. Petrus, what's your favorite color?
Red. The opposite of Diana's, of course. Like the dying rays of the sun and evening. Marcella, your favorite number, ma'am?
My favorite number. It's kind of a difficult question to answer. Very likely 3. It seems like most things in life like to come in triplicates. Good, bad, mundane, all 3s. Nia, your favorite number?
Sorry. Nia is going to hesitate just a moment because Nikki had to, I think I got the answer wrong. That sounds silly. That sounds really silly. The number 7, I think. Similar to number 3, it seems unlucky for most people, but most of the things that I've noticed that have been good for me have happened in 7s. This is just Nikki drinking, not me. By the way. Alfie, darling. What's your favorite number?
27. I don't have a reason. It just sounds good. Diana, tell me your favorite number.
My favorite number is 11. Because you have 2 singles coming together.
Aoife quirks her eyebrow in response to that.
Petrus takes a very long drink of his drink.
Marge.
The number 2. Petrus. Favorite number.
Wait, no, hold on. He grabs the drink in the middle of the table and throws it back.
Oh.
Sets it down and refills the glass. I've got to know why, too.
It is the first prime.
Very good. He's a little woozy at this point, kind of bobbing.
I suppose you could say it was Marge's prime contender. 100% in character.
Go ahead and take a drink. You spoke out of turn.
She did, that's right. Lady Marcella, drink.
Marcella drinks.
He fills the glass in the middle of the table. Favorite number? Lady Diana, I salute you, for my favorite number is also 11. Although for different reasons. I like the symmetry of it, and also I'm fond of things that repeat.
I raise my glass to Petrus.
He toasts you as well. This should be amusing. Lady Marcella. Favorite hobby?
To be completely honest with you, baking bread.
Really?
Not something that would be on the ladies' high to-do list, but yes,
Not at
baking
all.
bread.
Because I get a freebie, I have to know. What kind of bread's your favorite?
Ooh, pumpernickel.
Oh, lovely choice. Absolutely lovely. Okay, so when we get to Five Spires, right, it's outside of Balmoral, but the little neighborhood that's grown up around the university, there's an absolutely wonderful bakery. Down by the fourth spire, you need to stop in. It is so good.
Duly noted. Diana, your hobbies, dear.
You know, I don't really have too many of those anymore. I used to do rather self-destructed hobbies, but not so much anymore. Nia, what are some of yours?
Oh. Shopping, obviously.
Was that an in-character drink?
Wait. Nice. Okay.
Marge, your favorite hobbies?
My repetitive task is carving.
He says as he gestures at the various small woodland creatures that litter.
Yeah.
The
Literally,
stack of-
literally
Is he
any
Vanna White
shelf,
them?
literally any shelf or windowsill.
Is he Vanna
or
Whiting?
table?
He's
The-
basically taken every bit of
Available real estate.
Eva's firewood
Yeah.
and carved it into little animals.
Yeah, so
So
any
you're,
shelf,
like-
the mantle on the fireplace, the nightstand next to the bed, the bookshelf. There's probably a couple tucked onto the ladder on the very far edge of the stairs going
oh my gosh,
upstairs.
I love it.
Oh, I love it.
Every
But
windowsill.
They are extremely detailed because he's a warforged. That's all he does in his free time.
Oh, I love it.
Nikki, did you ask if he was Vanna Whiting them around
Yes.
the house also? Okay. Just like here. This lovely carved raccoon.
you see that's actually what's sitting on the table in front of him is like a half carved raccoon. So
We're getting there.
I love it.
Eva, what are your hobbies?
I used to sew, but now I just make wind chimes. Petrus, what are your hobbies besides having abnormally large pockets in your pants?
You can't ask someone why they have abnormally large pockets, dear.
I didn't ask. It was a statement.
Eva, this is why I absolutely adore you.
Macrame.
Really?
Yes, really.
Eva takes a drink.
Huh. No point in me asking Marge this question, apparently, but we'll skip ahead. Nia,
Yes.
what's your favorite food?
There's a lovely little cafe in the Place that serves a pasta with red sauce and shrimp. It's absolutely divine. Highly recommend it. Marshmallow. What is your favorite food?
Would you fault me if I said marshmallows?
No, I would never fight you, dear.
No, that's actually not it at all. I'm not actually a huge fan of sweets. Just one particular
Could've
candy.
fooled me.
Just stare at Nia across the table. No, there is a particular meal that my father used to make when I was younger. It was a stew that he made that he learned how to make when he lived back at home. It had a little bit of everything in it, but and it's not even particularly fancy. I think it's just the fact that it's something from my father's childhood that he shared with us when my sister and I were growing up. And there's no recipe, so I can't even make it. I would love to make it for Aoife one night, but alas, unless we visit back home, I will never be able to share it with her. Marcella, what's your favorite food?
Again, this may come as a surprise to most of you. Cinnamon rolls with strawberries. That's, Lizzie used to make them every year for my birthday. And it's just always been one of my favorite things.
I'll risk the shot for this. And he goes, Who the hell is Lizzie?
Oh, sorry. Lizzie is our cook, dear.
Oh. Right. Lady Marcella, my apologies.
Normally we wouldn't have kept one, but that's my I guess my mother had insisted. I never got the full story, but Lizzie has been with us since I was a child. Eva, what is your favorite food?
Beef stew and homemade bread. I'm a simple woman, very simple pleasures.
Not a damn thing wrong with that.
What about you, Petrus? Favorite food?
My mother used to make these little pastries at the start of the Winter Revels. Like the good Lady Marcella, we had cooks. It was the only thing I ever tasted made by her hands. The little pastries themselves are little spirals of a crackling dough filled with sweet fig preserves. But all things considered, it could have been anything. It was who made them that mattered. Aoife, your favorite smell?
Fresh rain. There's nothing like the smell of fresh rain. It makes everything feel clean. Nia, what's your favorite smell?
Funny enough, you say the word clean, because mine is freshly bathed. But that's only because I have a preference for bathhouses. And there's just something very therapeutic about the smell of yourself and others afterwards. Marcella, your favorite smell?
Similarly enough to Aoife, it's actually the smell of, well, in my particular frame of reference, a greenhouse, but could be applicable to a forest or a heavily vegetated area. There's just something wonderful about that clean, fresh, green smell, the smell of the soil. That's just so wonderful. Plus, it does bring back an awful lot of memories. She kind of loses herself and looking into her drink for a minute.
Snap at her.
And then realizes, I was going to say, then realizes she's meant to ask someone else at Maj. Do you have a sense of smell?
No.
I'm sorry, that's rude.
I'm a construct. I don't eat, sleep, drink, or breathe.
I'm sorry, you don't breathe?
No.
Petra sketches himself and goes, oh shit. And he reaches over and takes a shot.
You know what, dear? I will also take a drink because I want to know if you could assume from either the people around you or your own surroundings. Could you perhaps maybe guess something that would probably smell good to you if you could smell it? Like seeing someone smell freshly baked bread, or the smell of the rain.
Marga's gonna think for a minute before he answers.
Aoife stew. When she cooks it, her face lights up.
See, that's not so hot. Nikki over here trying not to cry.
I was going to say, we're going to end up crying by the end of this.
Probably.
For everyone at home,
And I mean-
we're having feelings.
We're having
What are those?
For the record, Meg was having feelings before we asked Marge anything.
Yes.
Oh.
Glad I could break you.
You didn't even have
It's
to
a
go
good
into
kind
It's,
of
my-
it's
breaking,
good.
it's
Yeah,
fine.
no, this is a good time. This is the best kind of breaking. I'm happy.
Diana, what is your favorite smell?
It's the smell of the ocean. Salt water. The really fresh, crisp. The wash of the ocean spray is the main thing, and parchment, and freshly opened ink, and burning wax. Petrus,
I want a candle.
what's yours?
Yes, my lady. The way our library smelled before my father donated the collection to the temple was all pipe smoke and old leather.
Is there any good books in there?
Oh, tons. Sort of depends on what you like, though. I mean, he was a nonfiction reader, and it's kind of where I learned most of what got me into university. Dry reading, to be sure, but interesting to me.
I take the shot glass and down it. I know someone who would want to be in that library.
I'd very much like to meet them.
I bet you would.
He refills it and then says, "You do know that because you asked me, that was supposed to be a free question,
I
right?"
asked you twice, and then I spoke out of turn. I know, I asked you one and then spoke out of turn.
Fair.
I
Absolutely
play
fair.
by the rules in most games.
It's possible I'm too drunk
Hmm.
already to remember the rules. Which is sad because it's my game. But you know what? Diana.
Petrus,
Yes?
would you like that relieved some?
Is that a thing you can do?
Is that a thing you want to do?
Sure. If he heals me up, it means I can drink more.
Mark is going to lay his hand on Petrus's shoulder,
Mhm.
and a lesser restoration will occur.
Ooh, where were you when I need you at parties?
Oh.
Ah,
Shit.
damn. That's mighty potent. Thank you, March.
Mark dips his head.
I don't know if Diana knows this about the lay on hands, but you can spend up to 5 points and remove a poison effect on somebody, which
Technically drunkenness is,
Poison.
yes.
if she ever wishes to use it. But chase your bliss.
Wow.
Petrus will also feel another warm pulse of energy
Okay.
as protection from poison goes off.
Oh, wow.
Aww.
Wow.
Wants to keep this kid
Wow.
going.
You are warding the pestilence.
He looks small and
We've
squishy.
been having a rough go.
we don't like
You are
he
not
is-
wrong.
we don't like pestilence,
Petulance,
petulance. Petulance, petulance,
Pesticide.
petulant,
But that
petulant, pestilence, Petrus.
yeah.
There we go.
Petis.
So there is no visual effect to
Tetris.
this. He just feels better, and then there's the warm energy.
I say he like it's a full on posture check. Like his shoulders straighten up and he's kind of leaned back a little bit. Eyes considerably brighter. Oh wow. Fitting this should be the next question because it's kind of the effect on me. Nia, what is your favorite drink?
Well, for the mornings, I enjoy. Sorry, I had to find this question. There it is. A vanilla macchiato from the Celestial Stag. And
Oh
for
my God, a woman after my own heart.
just before noon, the Summer Orchard Red 20-year vintage is my personal favorite.
Well, now.
Down, Petrus.
As
I don't get it often.
I imagine not, but worth it whenever you can.
Yes. Aoife, what is your favorite drink?
Oh, in the morning I like tea. Partial to peppermint. But in the evenings, ale. Very simple that way. Diana, what is your favorite drink? Though I feel I should know this by now.
But in spirit of the game, you have to ask. In the morning, just water, a little bit of honey, a little bit of lemon. But in the evenings, I really enjoy honey and lavender mead. It is my drink of choice.
That sounds very good.
Marcella, what's yours?
Rose and orange tea with wildflower honey. And Marcella takes a drink. Nia.
I've already been asked, dear.
That means you have to drink.
Marcella drinks. Marge.
Marge just looks at Marcella and kind of blinks.
I'm just playing the game, dear.
Nothing.
If you could, perhaps.
I'm not sure. There's so many options, it would take years to sample them all. Petrus, your favorite beverage?
My standard answer to this question is a hazelnut macchiato at any hour. But truth be told, coffee in all its forms, no matter day or night. And believe me, at 3 o'clock in the morning, before first semester freshman finals, there was so much coffee.
There is something to
This is a man after Meg the player's heart.
For the record, that may be informed by the player, Justin.
Keep in mind, Meg's favorite coffee is actually hazelnut coffee. So that's literally a man after Meg the player's heart.
I'm sorry, in character, was there a follow-up?
Not for
Oh,
Marcella,
I thought I heard
no.
Nia coming in. Okay.
Nia's definitely talking out of turn, but no one has told her to drink, so she is just...
If I have to drink for talking out of turn, so do you. Come on now. Marcella pushes the shot glass towards Nia.
Marty's gonna look at Petrus since it was his question to ask.
What does coffee taste like?
My favorite way? It's a little silky, a little warm, just the slightest bit bitter. But the overall effect is to warm you from the insides. It wakes you up by, yes, by degrees. Little sip at a time.
I need my map. I'm about to bullshit a thing.
Welcome to my life.
I'm about to bullshit a thing, but I need a map.
Where's the map? Where's the map?
Marge, I only know you a little bit,
Backpack.
but I would take you for a coffee drinker if you could. And indeed, if you ever can, I will gladly brew you your first pot.
Petrus, actually, there is a coffee that we used to keep in the house from Saint Jean. Saint Jean.
Yes.
Saint Jean. Okay, sorry. I'm trying to get used to your actual
Yep.
pronunciations. When you brew it, there's no bitterness and it tastes of chocolate.
Oh, I must try this.
Oh, you would love it. It's delightful.
Yes. It's a damn shame I'll be leaving you in a few days.
Look, you know where to find me. It's not exactly like I'm inconspicuous.
Fair enough, my good lady.
Diana just
Fair
drinks.
enough.
As the nobles rub elbows.
So,
And we're networking and
So. Who should I ask? Nia. What do you think is your best physical feature?
Do I only have to choose one?
For the purposes of the game, yes.
Nia takes the glass and she says, "My eyes," and she takes a drink. Marshmallow, what is your best physical feature?
So, I've been told multiple things, but the one that stuck with me the most was someone told me that my smile could end the world in its entirety. And, that's kind of left its mark.
I will ask my follow-up question then. Who told you that?
Diana drinks.
Spicy.
So, Aoife. You, darling.
Aoife doesn't let you finish the question. She reaches across the table and pulls the drink to her and knocks it back. Marcella. Excuse me.
I would take a drink to nominate your eyes. And
I was
Petrus
going to
takes
take
a
a
drink
drink.
as well.
Pour me one. I was going to say
he's happy to share the love.
Marcella. What do you feel is your favorite feature?
I was always told my lips. And Marcella takes a drink.
Goodness. Some of you have either some suitors or some very, very encouraging friends, and I'm here for it. You drink some more. She's loving this.
Marcella. What is your favorite? Your best physical feature, according to yourself.
I did.
You did?
Answer
Did I miss
this
it?
already.
Oh, your lips. I'm so sorry.
Aoife, a drink.
Yes.
Are you feeling it yet, darling?
It's a little stronger than the watered down ale I'm used to. Whew.
Girl, I'm on glass too. Like real life, I understand. Like I'm noticing my nose gets rosy when I drink. That never used to happen. Yeah, that's you can see this is considerably more red than anything else. I believe Marge is the only one who hasn't answered this question yet. So Marge.
I'm quite attached to the form of my head. My creator chose it specifically. Petrus, what is your best feature?
I have been told by someone who should have known. My hands.
Ooh!
Tyler.
Ooh, spicy Petrus!
I have a lot of words to say about that. It was either going to be the booty, but the hands went somewhere else, and I am okay.
Ooh.
Somebody come get it.
So wait, what you're telling me, Tyler, is you imagine Petrus basically consistently doing a cakewalk.
It's a damn shame nobody followed up on the macrame question. That's all I'm saying.
I don't pry.
No.
I don't
Medieval
pry, and we don't
bondage?
kink shame.
Question mark?
Not in this household.
Nope.
This is true.
It's very true.
Tyler, the gay boy, has added 2 and 2 and gotten fish and hand jobs.
All right. Hold on. Let me find Petrus again.
He's over there.
Yep.
With his hands.
Did you see
It
me
is
hold up the duh
macrame.
for Marge? I'm reasonably attached to my head.
I'm reasonably attached to my head.
All right. Hold on. All right. Marge, my bear-shaped friend. What are you best at?
Following my orders. Diana, what are you best at?
Which answer would you like? That's fine.
Drink just for that.
I'll accept that. No, I am really good. Well, I used to be. So I'm a little out of practice. I'm really good at gambling. Exceptionally good. And she drinks.
Nia perks up.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Wait. So, question: since Marge can't drink, what happens if he asked a question? Out of
Yeah,
Petrus drinks
turn?
it for him.
Oh, that's right. Petrus drinks.
I would have said you were best at finding traps.
That's a low blow, Marge, and you know it.
I say, as per agreement, Petrus takes the drink for him.
Technically, as a follow-up.
But choking back the laugh, he chokes on the fucking drink.
Marcella has been, like I said, she had turned a chair around and was sitting backwards, basically with the back of the chair facing her chest, and she has been leaning on the chair, her arm across the back of it, and she just buries her face in her elbow. She is dying, trying not to laugh.
It's fine. Laugh. Next time y'all need healing, don't come to me.
You can come to me. I'll give you a midnight special. Don't worry.
Come on! First hand job. Are you taking a midnight training going anywhere?
I'm so glad I got this spit take.
You gotta watch out for that wet ass part.
I had a mouthful of fortune cookie and I almost just died over that.
I regret nothing.
We know.
Oh my God.
If you were standing, I imagine you saying that and just spinning around in a circle, like I regret nothing.
Pretty much, you got yeah.
Since Marge so graciously pointed out that I am best at setting off traps, getting myself into peculiar situations. Nia, what are you best at?
I'm very good at singing. You'll hear it one day. Eva, what are you very good at?
Telling fortunes. In many ways, I am exactly what the people think I am.
I was going to ask you what the last fortune you read was, but now I want to know what do you think the people think you are?
Well, depends on where we're talking about. You've seen the folks at Lashashran. They're wonderful and warm people. They're good. And I don't know what they see in me, but they are good people there. But I hope that we never have to go through Gibson's Ferry. Marcella, what are you best at?
Marcella takes a deep breath and sighs and just stares into her own glass and just says simply, nothing.
You're good at calling people on their shit. And Diana takes the shot.
And yet again, in the very little time that we've known each other, I must remind you that you know nothing about me.
Yeah, same goes for you. It's fine.
Marge. Did Marge go already?
Marge
The
did.
first answer.
You get to drink.
That's Marcella takes a drink. She's a little distracted.
It's down to me.
Petrus. Petrus, what are you good at?
All things considered, it's going to sound like a trite answer, but temporal mechanics. I would have majored in it, but the program is full. I've applied for special admittance, but frankly, it's been near a century since anyone heard from Professor Shoskarov, and he hasn't shown up for office hours in at least that long, because nobody can find him in the time stream.
I'm sorry. Did you just say Shoskarov?
Yeah. Why, do you know him?
Marcella looks at Bix, who I'm sure up until this point has been sleeping in the corner.
Yes.
Do you mean to tell me that you're a professor? Really?
Shoskarov Moonclan Aman. Yes. For the record, you, because you speak the language, know that Aman means junior.
Oh. Wait, Bix, we may need to have a conversation because I feel like you have just opened up a whole wealth of. I have so many questions.
I am literally at your service. Damn it.
And look, I hate that as much as you do.
Oh, I doubt it.
You may be at you may be at my service, but you will always have free will here. If you do not want to answer me, you can choose to do so.
That is literally not true. My queen would end me.
We will also have to have a discussion about that as well, because I
Excuse
do
me.
not like the sound of that.
As
So-
you wish, my lady.
As someone who adores the Princess Bride, that just hit like a special place
It
in my
was meant
heart.
to.
Okay, thank you. I'm just over here like, oh. So,
Yes.
I have so many questions.
After the first one, you have to drink.
Shosgaroth, I understand this, but my brain hurts. Shosgaroth. What did you say?
Shosgaroth Aman. Or sorry, Shosgaroth Moonclan Aman Jr. Shosgaroth Moonclan Moon. There we go.
Are you talking about Shosgaroth or Shosgaroth Aman?
Yes. I mean, we all call him Chauncey, but yeah.
Look, I will risk the drinks. Did you just say Chauncey?
Yeah. I mean, if you had to say Shosgaroth 1,000 times, wouldn't you come up with another name?
Tiefling man?
Yeah. Or so I'm told. Like I said, I've never actually met him. Because, missing for a century. Shosgaroth Moonclan Aman. Yes.
Petrus, we may need to have a conversation. I think I have met your teacher.
No shit. Can you tell him to show up for office hours? Because seriously.
Next time I see him, I shall put in the complaint.
Okay, thanks.
So
'Cause
I
really
stopped-
want to switch majors.
I stopped counting, but I think it's about 5 for each of
Oh,
you?
Marcella just picks up the bottle at this point and just downs it.
Oh, girl.
Not the whole bottle, just enough that she thinks it covers the amount of questions she just
I know,
asked.
but it's just like, whew.
Oof.
Oof.
4X.
Hair on your chest.
So wait,
all right.
Slams it back on the table.
Let me be clear. You've met my advisor and I haven't? This is bullshit.
I mean,
Darling, I understand. I wish I hadn't.
God
At this
damn
point,
it. He
I
takes
have
a shot just
far
for
too many
like,
questions.
just for the record.
Marcella takes a drink of the drink that is in her hand, no longer attached to the liquor bottle.
God damn it. Well. Questions, right. Oh, what the hell? Diana, what are you worst at?
I would love to see what the bunch here would have to say about that, but honestly, personally, I am terrible at feelings. Diana drinks.
That's Nia actually laughing.
Aoife, what are you worst at?
Giving bad news.
What's the worst bad news you've had to give?
I once had a man come to my hut and ask me where his child had gone. And I lied to him. Nia, what are you worst at?
Yes. Nia takes a minute, so she takes a drink. I'm terrible at remembering. Marcella?
I am terrible at holding on to and protecting the people I love.
Petrus quietly picks up his drink and salutes you.
Marge.
Standing by when something wrong is happening. Petrus.
I think it should come as no surprise to any of you given how we first met, that I am worst at making friends, for which I am sorry.
Diana holds her glass up to him again.
Marcella's refilling her glass and just tips the bottle to him.
So, who is your family? March. I'm interested.
I was created. I have no family. But I have Aoife now who found me.
Is this where the tears start? Because I feel like this is where the tears start.
This is fine.
cool.
Yep, it's good. It's fine. It's cool. Yep, it's great.
Diana, who's your family?
Well, my new family is Aoife and Marge. My old family, not really old, just a little far away right now. They all live in Holston, still. There is my mother, my father, and my twin sister. Can you imagine 2 of me running around?
Gods no.
Sometimes.
Imagine.
I have to admit, I don't think that would be
Wow.
so bad. Eva takes a drink.
My sister is much better than I am as a person, but that's for another day, another time. Marcella, your family. You are a lady after all.
This is where Meg has to
As
grab
you
her
so
notes.
often,
Do you have
as you
a
so
family
often
tree,
tell
dear?
us.
This is where Meg actually needs her notes.
And she
can't
unrolls
remember.
the tree.
That's the parchment
And
of
that's
gold.
what I thought. I had
It's a tapestry.
I had to double check a name because we haven't talked about it yet. Well, I suppose if you wanted to get into that aspect, Richard and Lysandra. Unfortunately, I'm the only child. However, that no longer stands true. My family is James and Lizzie, Clara. Well, I consider them family at least. There were 2 others, but at this point, I can no longer in good conscience refer to them as family. Mia.
Before you ask me the question, I will take my drink. Why? Why can't you consider them your family?
Because to do so would bring harm to both of them.
Fair enough. My family is my mentor, Janelle, who I have taken her name. Five years ago. Alfie, your family.
Well, all of you here. But my grandmother is the only family I've ever known. Of course, I had a mother and a father, but well. Petrus, tell us about your family.
I have a mother, a father, 3 brothers, 2 older and 1 younger, and 2 older sisters. But truthfully, I'm being 100% honest. My classmates are closer to me than any of them ever bothered to be. I may be from Festa Floton, but I am 5 Spires. And he takes a drink.
Diana takes a drink, and you've got Lucy too.
Yes.
Please don't forget that sweet
I
girl.
can never forget my sweet Luciza.
The things she put us through.
I can only imagine. Come here, girl. Come here.
For you.
And he calls her
Feisty
over,
one
and she
that one
goes
is.
over, and he just reaches down and gives all the scritches and belly rubs.
Fought a goblin. Ran us through traps and into a portal to save you.
Okay, you didn't go in the portal, Nia.
I didn't go in the portal, but from everybody's experience with it so far, it seemed hellish. But that dog jumped in without a moment's notice for you.
He reaches down and picks her up, and I mean, she's not a small dog. She's like full size of a corgi. And holds her up to his face. Who's my good girl? Who's my good girl? That's right. That's right.
All
you're
of
my
the
girl.
tails are
Yeah,
wagging.
You're just right. All three tails just going nonstop.
All
And
three
he's
nubbins.
like, he holds her and he gives her all the scritches and lets
Nubbins.
That's right. That's right. He kind of lays her across his lap, and for the rest of the night, he'll just be kind of quietly petting her. Indeed. So, Aoife, because you mentioned your grandmother, and I never knew mine, what is your first childhood memory?
My first childhood memory doesn't have to do with my grandmother. Not in the way you would expect, anyway. It has to do with the moon and the swamp. I remember the feeling of the water closing around me and the way that the full moon looks from under the water and the feeling of the mud against my back sinking into my hair and my dress. And I think there was a moment when I laid there at the bottom of the swamp, looking up at the moon, and she smiles, where I could breathe. Mia, what is your first childhood memory?
She, Nia just kind of shrugs and reaches for the glass in the center of the table, and she looks and sees that bracelet on her wrist, and she stops, and you see her eyes welling up. I don't remember, but it has something to do with this bracelet. Marge, darling, what was your first memory, I guess?
The ceiling at the assembly chamber and being given the name myself. What is your first memory?
Sitting in my father's lap, by the fire, insisting that I wasn't tired, like children like to do, but falling asleep there with him anyway. He always smelled of cedar. And wore a vest that was the color of sunshine in summer.
I'll take the drink. Is that why your favorite color?
You can see Marcella's eyes starting to well up, and she can't speak. She just nods her head.
He passes you a handkerchief. You're not sure where it came from.
Marge is going.
He salutes you with the shot before he drinks it.
Marge is going to stand up and walk over to the ladder, and you hear it creak as he climbs the first 2 steps and reaches into the loft. And a moment later, he steps back down and he has a small squirrel figurine. He takes the blade and runs it across the bottom of it where it would sit, flips it upside down, and hands it to Marcella.
It's cedar, isn't it?
Oh, no.
Oh no.
Okay, so Meg the player is actually crying now.
Same. God.
Marcella just gestures to Diana.
Your turn, darling.
But she does accept the carving.
My first childhood memory. So, of course, you all know that I have a twin sister now. I had shared this information with Aoife and Marge, but Marcella, yeah, you now know. All of my childhood memories revolved around her. We did everything together. We caused so much trouble in our parents' lives. But they've always reassured us that we were the best thing that ever happened to them. We used to spend almost every morning down on the beaches of Holston. I don't know who's all been to Holston. If you've been to their beaches, they're not sandy. They are littered with stones, worn smooth by the ocean's waves. The water's a little on the more gray side, always a little chilly. But my sister and I, we used to collect stones. It was a competition of who could find the prettiest one of the day. We'd always take them to our father, and he would choose one. Genevieve always found the best ones. I know they say that parents don't play favorites, but she's still there, and I'm here. Petrus.
My first childhood memory is of the nurses holding me down while I was branded.
I'm sorry, come again?
What part didn't you understand?
You know, I take back my question. You have your secrets, I'll have mine.
As you wish, Lady Diana.
I would like to draw your attention to the Abe window.
Yep. Diana. Because you mentioned them. What's something you never wanted your parents to find out?
There's a lot my parents should find out about. Granted, they saw my bank records at one point. I mentioned to you all that I was rather good at gambling. And, life used to be a little lackluster. I used to find ways to make it more exciting. They were not always the best ways. The best things to do. But that's for another night with stronger alcohol. Marcella, what's something you never want your parents to find out?
Marcella just takes the glass out of the middle, cheers to you, and just says Nia. And downs the shot.
Diana raises her glass to her and drinks.
Nia also takes the glass in the center and drinks.
So basically, she just does the grabby hands thing for Marcella.
You gonna pour
She just
that
did the
for
grabby
me?
hands thing.
just like, that's, I'll take that next.
Yep. Takes the drink. She's getting lush, very lush. Healthy. Something you wouldn't want your grandmother finding out.
And here I was prepared to answer about my parents.
I mean, you can still be your parents, but I've only heard about your grandmother.
If we were to talk about my parents, I don't want them to ever find out what's become of me. As far as I'm concerned, they can rot with the memory of the child that they left in the swamp. My grandmother, though. I think she would be disappointed to find out how her mirror broke. And Diana has an idea as to what Aoife's talking about since she's been in the basement. There's a large black mirror in the basement that is cracked.
Diana just kind of side-eyes Aoife and just sips her drink.
Marge, is there anything that you wouldn't want your creator to find out about you?
That I felt the first order.
Mm-hmm.
So, Aoife, you're going to ask her, am I risking the drink?
Aoife doesn't say anything.
Ah, what the hell? Petrus reaches in, takes the drink. I'll bite. What's the first order?
Victory at all costs. Leave no survivors.
Doesn't sound like an order worth following anyway. He salutes you with his other glass and takes another drink. Thank God for protection from poison.
Marge is gonna look over at Aoife.
Would you like me to fix the mirror?
Thank you, but no. It is what it is.
Petrus, what would you not want your parents to know?
That I had their fucking brand removed. And he smiled.
Literally everyone. I'm sorry, everyone's head just went.
And he smiles a predatory smile.
like, good job, but also.
So, now we get to the spicy portion of the evening.
Oh,
Thank
oh
God.
boy.
You know.
Oh boy.
And be
Oh, goodness.
damned, but I'm dying to know.
Jesus God.
What you got for us, Petrus?
Yeah, this would be a college student question.
Hey, Marge,
Really?
have you ever had sex?
No.
Can you?
No.
Damn, that's a shame.
Do you want to?
You get a drink for that, but I think it's worth it.
Oh, no. No. She drinks.
I'm trying to figure out if I want to do this or not. Because Marge has always been wearing clothes around y'all.
Yes.
Yeah, he's gonna stand up and drop trowel, and it's gonna be Barbie doll. There's literally no organs there.
Darling, if you think that sex ends and begins and ends with genitalia, I feel sorry for you.
Aoife still turns away.
Like there's no mouth. He has like literally his only features other than like the two spots where a bear nose would be in the eyes. That's
Still holes.
If
Tyler.
Tyler.
God almighty.
Get out.
I will
invited him.
I will continue to take my drinks, but I just wanted to know, Marge. This isn't me judging you. I just wanted to know if that was ever something that came to your mind. Whether or not you feel like you have the correct parts for it is honestly a moot point.
I mean, Marge wouldn't understand the concept of sex outside of reproduction. He's a robot. So
Fair enough. Nia took her drinks, but she genuinely wanted to know.
Diana.
Remember when I said that I used to indulge in things that would make life a little less lackluster? That included people. So yes, I have had sex. With many people, many times. But that's another discussion for another day.
Our marshmallow got sticky.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
And the green card is in play.
Dang.
Diana just kind of glares at Nia.
I love that Tyler is literally drawing every
all of
card
them.
we have.
Diana
Just all of them.
Diana glares at Nia,
I love you.
sips her drink, and just,
Oh my god.
Nia dear, have you?
No! Goodness! What do you take me for? She drinks.
Diana just rolls her eyes.
I'm wondering if Marge would know it was impolite to ask numbers.
Probably not.
Or if it would even register. Yeah, it wouldn't register. Cool. Never mind.
The joke being that I have had sex before. It's one of my jobs. I'm pretty good at it.
I'd like to find out one night.
Marshmallow just took the fuck off.
It unbeached itself. Woo! Okay.
Oh, fuck, nosing up the nose hurts. Oh. Oh, I hate you. That's payback for falling down the traps.
Okay.
Lady Marcella Meladandri, have you fornicated before?
Just off the books. I love y'all.
Frankly, I don't believe that is any of your business.
Then drink for it.
Then please take a drink.
That is a non-answer. You're gonna have to drink.
She's still working on it. Hold, please.
I never said Marcella was done
Fair.
answering. I don't believe that's any of your business. However, in the spirit of the game, yes. In fact, I have.
Did you enjoy it?
Yes.
I've heard stories. I'll continue to drink. I've heard stories from some noble ladies and gentlemen that sometimes their partners are not very good. So I'm glad that you enjoyed yourself.
Well, when you're very much in love with your partner, I really feel like it's hard to be disappointed.
Some of them are not, unfortunately. And that's where I come in. Or out. Anyway.
And
Nikki!
I could not love this game anymore if I tried.
Well, I guess that leaves you, Aoife, darling.
No, Aoife and Petrus. But Petrus is always
Yes,
last.
but I was going to say Petrus has to go last.
Which is a shame because... No, it's good. Good job, Petrus. Making sure that the ladies go first.
Always.
So generous.
Yes. And takes a drink. What about you, Petrus?
I have. So, with that out of the way, Lady Diana,
Yes,
your
Petrus.
preference in sexual partners? Men, women, all, none.
Diana just drinks. Marcelo, your preference?
It's complicated.
glad we're Facebook circa 2005.
You beat me to typing it out, Tyler.
I paused to see if anybody was going to challenge that answer.
Well, technically, it's a non-answer.
You get drink.
It's not a non-answer.
Well, you did hesitate, dear, so you still have to drink.
Yeah, no, I'm calling it. You drink.
Okay, can I explain out of character why that's not a non-answer?
Oh, no, I accept it being a non-answer as a player. I'm saying Petrus would.
Okay, because I was going to say, that's not a non-answer. That is actually very true for the character.
Yeah, you know what? We'll leave it be.
Again, he's not saying...
We have talked about this before, and I may actually leave this in when I'm editing. We have talked about this before. That's almost all of my characters are canonically asexual or demi. Fair. And Marcella is demi, so that is actually a valid answer for
You're
her.
correct. Yeah, I as the player, completely. But we'll strike the call for a drink.
Right. That's. I was gonna say she'll still drink, but I just want to reiterate that is actually, in fact, an answer for her, not necessarily a non-answer. She's not trying to not share. It just literally is complicated
Fair.
for her.
Fair.
100% fair.
Yes. Sorry.
Nia was just saying a part of the rules. You hesitated. That's why you're drinking, not because of the answer.
Did I?
It felt
This
like
is
you
me genuinely
hesitated.
asking. I was gonna say it did. This is me genuinely asking because I don't know.
Oh, I thought that was in character. I thought Marcella was hesitating before she answered.
Oh, I'll drink to that then. I was gonna say if you're gonna call her unhesitating, we'll say she hesitated. Then yeah, Marcella drinks
Okay.
because that would be very complicated to explain to them. Okay. So Marcella drinks. Eva.
Honestly, I haven't really thought about it very much. But I would say that I don't have a preference. I guess we can skip Marge for this one.
You
Why?
say that.
It's worth asking.
Why couldn't we ask romantic interests rather than sexual?
Marge, if you had romantic feelings, if that is a thing, what would your preference be?
All beings are beautiful in their own way.
Petrus raises his glass to that.
Aoife gives him an elbow.
Marge.
Marge.
Petrus.
So it's like thunk. That didn't hurt. It didn't
Your
hurt. It's
camera
fine. Yeah, because I.
Ooh. Your
the whole
camera
thing,
shifted.
it's
I was gonna say your camera
fine.
shifted and your mic picked it up. That was great.
It was
You
beautiful.
actually hear the resounding wood that's like.
Mhm.
Nia, do you have a
Yes.
preference?
I don't, as long as they have coin.
A fair answer.
Nia has sex if you have coin.
A fair answer.
And if they don't have coin?
She prefers marshmallows. Diana drinks.
I don't have sex with anybody if they're not paying for it. Diana. Sexual or romantic preferences?
She's already been asked.
Has Diana been
She
asked?
asked, you drink.
Yep.
Oh, might be. Nia drinks. I completely forgot that.
Yeah, she's first.
Oh, then we've gone all right around. Petrus, your preferences.
I am inclined to agree with my dear bear friend. I find beauty in all beings, romantic, sexual, and otherwise.
Knew it.
Why do I suddenly love petulance?
Turns out he's not
Not
actually
being
a
a-
bastard.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, I kind of love him.
So, who to ask? Who to ask? Who to ask? Lady Marcella, what was your most embarrassing moment?
This isn't hesitation. I'm just trying to figure out if this is me trying to figure out if this would count.
Sure.
I think it would. I think it would factor into that decision. Marcella doesn't make any move to answer at first. At least it seems like it. And because she always wears a high collar, she reaches underneath her collar. And she normally wears one necklace, but she pulls out a chain from underneath her collar. It's a longer chain. She holds it up between her thumbs so you can see what is strung onto this chain, and you see a ring on the chain.
Petrus's eyes pop really wide.
She lets it go, and it falls down, and you notice that the chain is long enough to sit just over her heart. And she just says, the events that resulted in me wearing this like this.
Petrus just bows his head.
Nia.
Well, my most embarrassing moment had to have been one night while I was performing and stepping close to the edge of the stage, one of my shoes broke. And so I fell into the front row onto someone's lap, tipping the table over and spilling several drinks on myself. Was not my most dazzling performance, but I got wet, so I guess that's a plus for some.
It's that time of night.
The side eyes card makes a reappearance.
It's so good. Marge, most embarrassing moment.
The defeat of my battalion during the war. Diana, what is yours?
Are we talking moments where people knew we were embarrassed, or where we felt personally that we were embarrassed?
I think the question is most embarrassed. So, regardless if other people knew.
Diana just kind of stares at her drink for a moment. You know, there's a time and a place, and this is not it, and just drinks. Petrus? Nope. Aoife?
You didn't get Aoife's. Drink for that.
I'll drink. You know, all of these little backwater towns, we have festivals for everything. And one summer, when I was younger than I am now, I asked someone to dance with me. And they laughed at me. They asked me if I would steal their bones. And everyone laughed.
Diana reaches across the table and just kind of squeezes Aoife's hand.
Oh, dear. It's long ago and hardly ever thought of anymore, but honestly, it's, well, it is what it is. What about you, Petrus?
Regardless of whether or not
I'm sorry.
I would dance with you. And I hope whoever ended up being with this person ended up finding him with crows digging out his bones instead of you.
I'm a terrible dancer.
Doesn't matter.
Petrus picks up the drink and says, "Hell, I wouldn't mind finding out."
Aoife
And
drinks.
takes the drink.
Down, Petrus, down.
Bonk into the horny jail. Sorry.
Do we need a bonk card too?
Look,
Bonk.
you can't bonk anybody into the horny jail.
All things considered.
If Marge was made out of metal, he would be resting by now.
Can that statement stay in?
That statement was great. Petrus, would you tell us about your most embarrassing moment?
Just so I'm clear, are we counting the part where either a day or 3 days ago I was kidnapped out of my own supposedly warded carriage by a crazed dryad? Because if not, I'd have to go with my first day of primary school. There's a certain expectation, which I know at least two of you know, for noble families and noble children, and I frankly had no idea. I was also obviously alone among my peers in that I wasn't the most perceptive child, and my teachers were simply relieved to have a student who would engage in the lesson. So I completely missed the look on the other students' faces as I raised my hand to answer question after question. And I didn't know until a group of them caught me after school and beat me up and put a leash on my neck, saying that if I was going to be the teacher's pet, I should learn to wear a collar. It was years before the name Petrus the Pet wore off.
Unconsensual pet play is fucking terrible. I had... Oof.
You're not wrong.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
There's
no
gonna
more
turn
yelling.
into a king.
Well, I can't ignore that is terrible and clearly has affected you if you still remember this. I would like to back up for a moment.
Yes.
Did you say you were kidnapped out of the carriage by a dryad?
Yes.
Did it tell you why?
No. Although...
Next question. How did we not notice that?
Well,
that I can't answer. Although if anyone knows where my sword is,
First
I would really
watch.
appreciate it back.
What does this sword look like?
It's a short sword and a plain leather scabbard.
I'm
Does it
honestly surprised.
Marcella just turns and looks at Diana like, are you
Does
serious
it,
I am-
right now?
Honestly surprised that Diana actually said anything. I expected
Does
her
it,
to keep her mouth shut.
Does it do anything?
Stabs people.
Yes, what she said.
It stabs people.
That's what swords are for. I'm sorry, I thought you were a paladin. I'm surprised you don't know.
Darling, I think her question is more, does it have any magical and or metaphysical properties?
I mean, a short sword's a short sword. They all look the
I
same.
have absolutely no idea. It was given to me right before I left.
Okay, cool. I'll keep an eye out for it.
Marcella reaches over and smacks Diana.
I would like to roll. I
You
would
are
like to
not
have
about
Diana
to-
roll a deception check, please.
You are not about to do this to this child.
Do what? I have no idea what you're talking
Do
about.
what?
Would it be deception? Would it be deception at disadvantage because Marcella is just calling her on her bullshit right now?
God, I'm actually have to break out dice, aren't I?
It would actually be. It would actually
I'm sorry.
just be a straight roll.
Just roll the Google.
Oh yeah, we'll roll Google.
Or I can roll. I've got a dice.
I've got it. Hold on, I've got it. Well, fuck it, you're being in Nat 1. He's clueless.
Good, I rolled a 15. I didn't add modifiers or
Dang
anything
it.
because I don't have that
Yes,
sheet.
yes,
I was really
Yes.
hoping. I'm
yes.
sorry.
The
Frank.
Gormless college student has no idea what in hell could possibly be happening here.
Nia's just like behind a fan, just trying not to laugh.
I don't see what's so funny.
Marge is-
Seriously, if you see my fucking sword, let me know.
Yeah, I'll totally let you know.
It's a fucking sword!
Marge at this point is looking between Diana and Aoife with just the cocked eyebrow.
Marcella is looking to Marge and Aoife now. Like, are we seriously about to let her get
See,
away
even the
with
bear
this?
doesn't get the joke. What's so funny about my sword being missing? Seriously.
Diana, please, for the love of all that is holy, show him the goddamn sword.
My great sword, yeah, you can see that.
And now I'm giving her the face. Aoife has just given her the dead stare.
Diana is ignoring it.
Petrus, what we were trying to get at, we were trying to get her to admit her...
Is the sword on Diana's
No.
person?
She didn't have any weapons on her.
Marge's gonna walk back to the stairs, climb into the loft, and get the short sword.
You don't know where Diana keeps her stuff.
You did.
It would either have to be in the loft or the basement, and you haven't went in the basement.
That's what you think.
What we are trying to say, Petrus, so while you're doing this, what we are trying to say, Petrus, because we were trying to get someone to own up to their doings, Diana did in fact find your sword.
Well, we don't know if it's his sword.
We do know it's his. We did the check. Episode 1, we did the check, and if I'm not mistaken, I'm sure Justin has the notes. We did the check. We do know it's Petrus's sword, because he said we found a sword that looked very, very familiar to us.
Specifically, it was Nia.
It's Petrus's sword.
Yeah.
Sorry, didn't mean to get that intense. I just know for a fact that we were told it was Petrus's sword.
Why would you keep my sword from me? Seriously.
Well, we did seem to find out that it
I
does
wanted to figure out
glow,
what it did.
I
was going
Apart
to
from
give
stab
it.
things?
Yeah. I was going to figure it out.
Yes, it
and
seems
get
to have
back
some kind of...
after I was done looking at it. But if you want it back now, be my guest.
I was unaware that it did anything other than stab. What the hell does it do?
I go up to the loft and grab it. I unsheath it, and I hold it next to Marge.
Petrus seems genuinely fucking confused.
I mean, is it magic or is it just a fucking nightlight?
You're asking me like I know. I'm serious. I was given the sword 15 minutes before I met you.
Wonderful. Can I keep it to learn what it does? And I promise to give it back before we let you go.
You know what? Sure. Yes. Keep the damn sword.
Wonderful. Do you even know how to use a sword?
I took fencing lessons.
Diana.
I sit back down and just start drinking my drink.
Which I guess is a no. You know what? He picks up his actual glass and just like, fuck it. And drains the whole thing and sets it back down and starts pouring himself another one. I'm not even sure where to go after that. Aoife, what do you want more than anything in the world?
More than anything in the world.
Indeed.
She smiles and takes a sip of her drink. Diana, my dear, what do you want more than anything in the world?
There's not much anymore. But what I would give for one more night of a quill on parchment by candlelight as it storms outside. March? What would you like?
To survive.
Cheers to that.
Yeah. What do you want more than anything?
I want to remember. She looks at you, Diana. We've already talked about this. I told you I remembered you. It's something different. Something I have no basis for.
Oh, yeah, I know I'm not relevant to your life for the most part. Didn't know you were gonna mention remembering me.
Well, you keep making those sad puppy dog eyes over there.
Well, it's for another time.
Of course. Marcella.
I would like more than anything to go back to the way things were 10 years ago.
You visibly
Petrus.
see Marge shudder at the thought of 10 years ago.
Marcella just raises her glass to you. Because she may not understand the shudder, but in some way she understands that shudder. Petrus.
I don't even need 10 years. I'd take 10 days. When the love of my life was still a real person. And still alive.
Damn it. Damn it, man.
Nia.
Oh,
Yes.
Meg is getting hit real hard in the feels.
What scares you the most?
What'll happen if I do remember? Marge, what scares you the most?
I need to protect those that I've come to grow fond of. Marcella. What scares you the most?
Losing the last good thing in my life completely. Aoife.
None of you are going to like this answer. She turns and looks toward the door and takes a deep breath and looks at each of you and takes a drink. Diana, what scares you? What are you afraid of?
I'm afraid of the day that I get it back.
What is it? Excuse me, I should have said that like Nia, not Nikki. What is it?
Diana drinks. Petrus.
Nia drinks.
What scares me the most? Is succeeding.
Marcella's gonna drink. Why?
Because I don't want my father to win.
Marcella leans in across the table because I'm assuming they're sitting opposite ends of the table. Then don't let him. But don't stop yourself in the process.
He closes his eyes and swallows hard. Lady Marcella, who or what inspires you the most?
My father.
He must.
Marge. Sorry, go ahead.
He must be a good man.
That he was.
Petrus kind
Marge.
of rocks back from that.
Nature inspires me the most. It always claims what is what belongs to it, and survives.
You're stealing my answers. I don't like it.
This is why y'all are best buddies.
Don't even give me time to think of something else. It's a dick move.
Nope.
It can be
Throw
the
you
same.
in the river.
Okay, but what's wrong with answering in the same
Yeah,
way?
it can be the same.
You guys care about the same things. You don't have to be, like, so drastically different of people. Just saying.
I agree with you, Marge. Nature is an incredible force. Yeah. What inspires you?
A song that I hear. Sometimes I can repeat it, and sometimes I can't. But it keeps me going.
It must be beautiful.
Captivating. Diana, what or who inspires you the most?
The stars. And what hides in between them. Petrus.
He just shakes his head and takes a drink. Marge. What is your biggest regret?
Marge looks down at his hands.
Not stopping the general from ordering the murder of the captives. Marcella, your regret.
You see Marcella absentmindedly place a hand over the ring you now know she wears under her blouse. And she says, I have a great deal of regrets in my life. And they all stem from one very large regret. But that isn't something worth talking about. And she takes a drink because she realizes that this is a sort of non-answer. Diana.
I regret actually going to Balmoral. We almost didn't go. Aoife?
I will drink, because this isn't an answer. But I wish that I had found you all sooner. Petrus? Yes? No? Oh.
Yeah.
Nia.
Yeah.
Nia's just trying to get
We're
everybody
drinking
drunk.
Definitely. I regret letting a couple name a child after me that I have no intention of ever seeing. I don't do children. Petrus.
All things considered, my biggest regret is not studying for my last final. Granted, the life I was living was apparently a lie, but it was a comfortable lie.
Sorry. It's Nikki.
Why do I imagine Petrus has comfortably numb on his playlist?
At this point, yes. Nia, when was the last time you cried?
Last night. Marge.
Never.
Lucky bastard.
Do you ever feel great sorrow then?
Yes. And joy. Anger.
And as he's saying this, his eyes are changing colors. So anger would be the red, joy's the blue they currently are.
We were programmed for emotions. Some suppress better than others.
That could be said of normal people.
Marcella.
Take a drink. I will take a drink.
It seems relatively apparent that it has been twice now in the process of this game. But before this, it was 10 years ago. Once then and never again until now.
6 months, 3 days. Eva?
When we gave my grandmother to the swamp. Petrus, when was the last time you cried?
Petrus leans over, looks out the window, and leans back in. About 6 hours. It's almost hard to believe for me, given what I've learned tonight, to believe you could answer this. But Aoife, what is the worst thing you've ever done to another person?
I lied about their fortune.
What was that fortune?
I told him that she ran away. But I found her in the woods. Diana, the worst thing you've ever done to someone else.
I've stolen a lot of money from others. I'm not saying they weren't good people. I'm saying I hustled them in gambling. But that's probably the worst thing I've done. Diana drinks. Marcelo. It's the worst thing you've ever done to another person.
I didn't do enough. I could have done more. I should have done more. But it just wasn't enough.
What wasn't? I'll take my drink.
Marcella at this point is like full on crying. Just shakes her head and takes her drink real quick and sets the glass down on the table and just stands up very abruptly. Just goes, if you'll excuse me, I need a moment. And she walks very hurriedly out the front door.
Maud, would you like to go next, or shall I?
I think I want to check on our friend.
And so,
March.
outside in the cool night air, Marge, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, I was just gonna say he stands up and goes outside and makes sure the door is shut.
Marcella, are you okay?
Funny question. Are any of us really?
It's the things I have noticed because it's a question that was just answered.
Yes. They are. Marge, I want you to know I never asked for this. I did what I did to try to save him, and it didn't work. She said it would work, and it didn't.
You hear a voice inside your head. It turns out, child, that even some things are beyond my power. For which I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry that the power, whoever made a promise to you they could not keep. But
I
none
just
of us
didn't
here will judge you.
want him to leave me like that. Because of it, I've lost everything.
But you've also gained things.
Marge moves to stand beside her and gestures towards the hut.
There are people in there that care for you. Aoife found me in the woods and brought me here and tended to me. She tended to Diana. You were part of the group, as Aoife says, the family now.
You don't understand. Caring for me is like holding a hot coal. It'll burn you eventually. And I don't want to see any of you get hurt because of me.
Marcel, only two people stand alone in this world. Cowards and fools. I don't believe you were either. You say you don't want us to get burned. I can tell you, every one of us has already been burned. We will continue to survive, but we are also here to help you.
I don't think you quite understand what you're up against.
For audio purposes, I'll
Proceed.
let you reintroduce yourself into the scene. The group inside will have been waiting.
Not trying to eavesdrop.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
We're not going to come back and see them stacked like a totem at the door.
It's just all of us.
They've all got the cups pressed to it.
Marcella walks back in, and it is very clear that One, she is still very upset, but that she has definitely been crying again. It's very apparent. She still looks a little rattled, but she resumes the Riker maneuver and just kind of arm over the back of the chair and just leans her chin on her arm. And just looks at everyone else.
Marge comes in, shuts the door behind him, takes a seat on his extra 30 stools at the table.
My lady, I hope you're okay. I believe there were...
As I'll ever be.
I believe there were 2 of our number who have not yet answered the question. Save me, of course. Would you like me to choose on your behalf?
I think that might be best.
Very good. Then Marge. The worst thing you've ever done to another person.
I fled from the battlefield and not checking for survivors. Yeah.
Before I answer the question, I'll take a drink if I have to. Marcella, I'm sorry. As for the worst thing I've ever done to another person, is taking them back to the inn when the song started playing in my mind. Petrus.
I am suddenly not certain. But what the worst thing I ever did to another person was start this game. Lady Marcella, I am sorry for whatever pain that answer cost you.
Don't be. There are very clearly some demons that I have not dealt with.
Indeed. And I fear this next question would only add insult to injury. But I'll start with Lady Diana. What is the one thing about your life you would change?
I wish I wouldn't have gone into the gambling house that night. I wish I would have stayed home with my sister. Nia, what would you change?
I wish I hadn't listened to my head rather than my heart and sold me a bracelet when I first woke up. Aoife.
She just shakes her head and takes a drink. Marge, what would you change if you could? Just one thing.
left someone behind with very bad people. I should have brought them. My son.
I would take it back. This does circle us back to Petrus, yes?
I believe so.
Marge would stretch his arm across the table towards Marcella, palm up.
She reaches out and places her hand in his. Her tiny little hand in Marge's giant warforged hand.
He gives it a little squeeze.
Him best bear.
Him is best bear. Petrus.
Given the life of extraordinary privilege that I have lived, this is going to sound like the brattiest of all possible answers. And please know that I don't mean it that way. Because I know so many have not had the opportunities I've had. But if I could change one thing about my life, it would be the condition of my birth. That I would not have been born to a noble house. And that I could have lived a simple, ordinary life. Oh, God. And of course, we come to this, the last question. And I have no damn idea who to ask first. Oh, why not? Knowing, of course, that it's an impossibility anyway. Marge, among this band of your very dear friends, could you? Whom do you think you would take as a lover?
I'm trying to think if Marge would understand that concept. Especially after the conversation regarding the
I think
previous topic.
if reproduction is the only possible point of sexual intercourse as opposed to making love, it might not even be something that Marge understands.
For simplicity's sake, Marge would just tap the table by the glass and push it towards Petrus.
He would take the drink on your behalf, having expected it all along. And he toasts you before he does.
Diana, who would you take?
As the foghorn of the USS Marshmallow blows.
I know everyone here has made jokes about cutting tension with a knife and or sword.
Spoon?
But
a dull stick.
But quite honestly, I'm just gonna drink. Diana takes back the drink.
Marge would reach up behind him on the mantle and pick up a small carved chicken and place it in front of Diana.
Just flick. Diana promptly
Damn.
puts her glass down and just flicks the chicken away.
Bear shade is the best shade,
Can dine in that shade.
right? Want to have a picnic there.
Nia,
Yes.
are you drinking or are you answering?
Oh, I'll answer. I wouldn't take one of you as a lover, not even if you paid me.
That hurts just a little.
I like to flirt. But love is not something that...
Oh, there doesn't have to be love involved. That's for sure.
Well, and I guess you'll just have to be dissatisfied, won't you, Marshmallow?
Have been almost my whole life. What's new?
Aoife?
Well, the truthful answer is that you all have a lot to live up to. And she takes a drink.
Oh my god, I love it.
Oh my
So
god, I am
sassy.
loving Aoife more and more every day.
Right?
It's so amazing.
And what about you, Marcella? Which of our fine merry band would you take to bed with you?
Well, unfortunately for all of you, the only person I have ever cared for in that way is not in this room. So that answer is I wouldn't.
Fair.
Petrus.
I started this evening barely knowing any of you.
And now you know too much. You're welcome.
Sure.
I would say I know just enough. So, for who I would take as a lover, Marge, I can't. I find the prospect of being the graham cracker to a marshmallow Nia s'more being deeply attractive, but apparently not going to happen.
Oh my god! I'm dead. I died. I love it. It's amazing.
Ceased.
Sold. Okay.
And I put my cards up too
Same.
goddamn soon.
All right. Let's get back to that.
Wow. I need that side eye for when I can do this, but also...
It's readily apparent that the good lady Marcella is not interested. And I tell you truly that even if none of that were so, I may have a lot to try to live up to, but damn, it'd be worth trying. If I had to pick one in whose arms I'd find myself, it would be our good and gentle host.
Look at this little canoe. I didn't know it was here. Huh. Let's set you
It might not be a
good ship.
It might not be a grand yacht, but it is sailing.
It is sailing. It is buoyant.
It's the
pierogi.
It's the pierogi.
It's the pierogi.
I'm not hungry. I said it right. Shut up. Oh, that was loud. No one's gonna come holler at me.
It's the pierogi.
Like I said, the good ship.
Okay, first of all, I am hungry. Stop.
Petra.
Oh my
Aoife,
god.
Aoife grabs the shot glass from the center of the table, downs the drink, slams it down, gets up, and walks behind the curtains to where her bed is and pulls the curtains closed.
Closed,
Yep.
tied.
I said, good day,
Signed, sealed,
sir."
delivered.
I know it's gonna holler at me. That was loud. That is...
Worth it. Holy shit.
That was funny.
I think I heard it start with
Oops.
And so, friends, I think that's where we're ending our session for tonight.
Wait.
Whew.
Oh, yep.
I down the rest of my drink. I place my glass on the table. I slink off behind the curtain. And I go to sleep, snuggled with Aoife. Because I think after a conversation like what we just had, we both might need it. It's platonic snuggling, okay?
If
Just friends.
If everybody else is still at the table drinking, Marcella's still drinking. She's not really interacting, but she is still sitting and drinking. I think her and Petrus are finishing off this bottle.
Yeah. That's a fair. That's a fair.
Nia turns her wine glass over. She already was drinking before this, so she has definitely had enough. She stands and goes to wherever she was going to sleep, either probably the loft or something. But before she does, she stops over Marcella and she says, just because I have my reasons for not wanting to take anyone here as a lover does not mean I'm not slowly seeing you all as friends. Which is, I never thought I would have more than one friend. So if you want to talk over wine at any point, I'll listen.
Marcella just looks up at her and goes, as if I would offer you any other kind of beverage.
I know. Well, good night. And she'll go up to the loft.
She nods when she says goodnight. And when they have finished the bottle, I'm assuming Bix has been asleep for like hours at this point.
Most certainly. If there's a fire going, he's curled up in front of it.
Yeah, that's Marcella goes and does the thing that she would have been doing the night before, but because they're in front of the fire, she kind of lays down a little bit more against Bix and just head down and just kind of arms crossed across her chest, one leg out, one leg up, with her crossbow next to her, and just falls asleep next to the fire.
You hear lights snoring from behind the curtain. Not obnoxious, just very light.
It's Diana.
Mm-hmm. Definitely Diana.
It's so cute.
It's not
still
obnoxious.
cute,
But you can still hear it.
And in the opposite corner, Petrus will curl up next to Lucy. And in Sylvan, anyone who was still awake and could hear him talking would hear him say, "Oh God, I hope she doesn't kick me out of the hut for that."
So Marge.
Marge very quietly would respond,
I don't think she will get some rest.
He just nods and curls up with his dog.
and then Marge, being the last awake, would take the bucket from the counter, the pail, and go fetch water, and have it ready for everyone in the morning when they woke up before he sat down to meditate for the evening.
So, friends, I have been, or, well, technically still am, Justin McGregor, your DM and host for the evening. Going around the table, we have.
I am Liz. I have been Aoife, your warlock for the evening. Very overcome with emotion. Yes.
And I'm Abe. I've been your Marge, your Warforged barbarian, and apparently bestest boy.
Hell yeah.
Uh-huh.
I am Kayla. I have been your half-elf paladin, Diana.
And I am Meg, and I have been your surprisingly sunshiny and weepy huntress, Marcella.
And it's me, Nikki.
Hell yeah, it is.
I've been your Nia, and both sinking and keeping this ship afloat.
The ship sails!
It is seaworthy.
At this point, I don't even think it's seaworthy without somebody banging water.
Hey, we're all here. We're all doing the work
We're
together.
all doing the
okay?
thing, right.
Quit blowing
Bailing
holes
the damn
in
water,
my
by God.
ship.
We've got enough wall tack to fill the holes, okay?
We patch one hole, somebody drills another. It's just...
Quit
It's really
putting
just
holes in
Nia
my
and
ship.
Diana. Nia and Diana both like filling each other's holes and then immediately going over and drilling holes back into it.
Phrasing.
Crazy.
we do that here.
Okay. Last bit of business. I again want to thank +1 Pen of Smiting at Pen of Smiting on all of the socials for the Truth or Truth module for these questions, for the chance to do this with my players. It has been amazing. To each and every one of you, thank you. I love you so much. To my audience, thank you for
Justin.
being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for hanging out. And we'll see you next time.